Game 3.
What did I say? It was the available pickup. When you're looking at everything left, like, sure, you could play around a Tristana or Zeri the bot lane up because you've got multiple members to come join these fights. Instead, it's the complete opposite right here. Kanavi, despite the fact that he didn't have a bot lane in the area, more than happy to be able to grab this one. Especially here, added Jackie Love and Crisp. Now, I think Jackie Love had a little bit of a suspect. Game number 2, going to be looking for the bounce back. Breathe, though, getting jumped here. Going to get stunned.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to burn his flash. Just gets crowd control chained to Oblivion. It is first blood to 369.
And that was just the combo power, standing firm in this lane, more than happy to keep himself up in the lane, getting as much farm as possible. Like you said, though, the stacks, he's really going to want to cash that in soon.
Oh, TES again! Crowd controlled like it's nobody's damn business as it's 2-0 TES.
Well, Sejuani and Nautilus is just insane. You won't be able to move, especially not single target right here. And Weibo, they're going to have to be very conscious of that going forwards in these fights.
Man, it could have been a way better if a couple of things went their way. Instead, with these 6 scrubs, Top Esports going to be able to pick up the first dragon. Now they're looking for Xiao, who depth charge already landed on top of him. Glacial Prison from downtown.
Oh, Jackie gets it!
Jackie Love picks up the huge cash-in as well. Already 2 for nothing as Jackie Love gets himself a double kill.
Oh, this brilliant pickup right here. Uses the ulti to such great effect. There it is, Whirling Death picks up the kill, and like we said, what's happening on the other side of the map? Because every single time Weibo of having something bad happen to them top lane, they're losing out on plating.
But without a flash on the Braum and him heading back to base, it should at least be Top Esports picking up this Rift Herald.
Cream actually going to step up right here, potentially looking to try 1v1 out Breathe. Breathe going to be able to step away more than fast enough to avoid that ulti at least, but still, that's another member of Weibo Gaming taking a huge chunk of damage. Here's another engage.
He flashes right in onto Xiao, who uses a nice shockwave to peel away. Teleport comes in. It's going to be Cream trying to join the fight, but remember, he does not have an ultimate. There comes 369, flashing in onto Xiao, who and Top Esports find their 5th straight kill. It is on to the mid laner. Rift Herald procced in that mid lane tier 1, sure to go down.
Yeah, they only just take the Rift Herald and they're already going to use it here into the mid lane. Tier 1 will fall. The Tier 2 could well follow. Breathe has now joined, but look at the grubs! There's so many of these Void Mites because of all 6, and Breathe, although he's in the area, still not going to be able to step up.
It's going to be a slaughter. There's Tien, already pops the Crescent Guard. Breathe trying to pick up 1. 369 finally will get shut down, but now Light the next target. Jackie Love still full HP. Crisp unrelenting in his aggression and his engages with the dredge lines as Hung is again forced back. Breathe looking for maybe a flank angle, but it's just not worth it at this point.
And it's just such another massive chunk of gold into their back pockets.
Yeah, and for Weibo, things starting to fall apart even more than they already were. Tien not having the greatest game here in what was a decisive one against his former team. Weibo gonna get a little bit back, maybe with Xiao Hu hitting onto this tier 1 turret. Nicely done by Hung to use the Unbreakable to make sure that the Whirling Death does not clear out the wave. But it is just a small price that Weibo are going to be able to force onto top. It's on the other side of the map, they're doing the same thing except onto the tier 2.
Look at the grubbies. The Mites are just doing so much. Giving over all 6 grubs in this game was always going to be a little bit of a risk for Weibo, but they are paying for it dearly right now with more and more towers just falling over to Top Esports. They really have
in this one, but Weibo don't want to give this one up that easily. They're going to try to make a play here towards 369 on the Renekton. He clears out the wave nicely, but the shockwave already connects. Derek's shield has been popped. Already Breathe taking turret aggro. He's going to die, but it will be a 1-for-1. No! Hung actually juggles it beautifully and makes sure that Weibo actually get out unscathed.
Yeah, really well played right there from Weibo to just about be able to pick themselves up that kill, but with all of the members showing on the bottom side of the map, it's going to be a very easy Atakan take right here for TES to grab for themselves. It's just about what Weibo can get. They get themselves a kill, they get themselves a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. It's something. It's a little bit of an advantage for themselves, getting themselves back into the game by a small amount, but still, it's not like TES are trading that for nothing. They get themselves
to make this play quick. And we'll see how much they are able to get off of it and how aggressive they want to play.
See Kanavi stepping up right here. Actually gonna go for this full play.
Wow. Yeah, the Crescent Guard already landing onto Tien.
No.
He has the proc it. It does a lot in terms of preventing damage from the Arcane Storm from taking him down. However, with top in control of the top wave, they should be able to take down this tier 2 and maybe even looking for an inhibitor before the Baron even spawns.
And 369 has been able to push through this wave into the middle lane, so it is going to be Weibo attempting to defend on a couple of different fronts right now, not quite able to keep the wave alive. Topside does mean this play will fizzle out, but 1 minute now until the next Drake is going to spawn.
Another item or half an item onto light. Maybe you find a pick early and can result in you finding some sort of advantage, but right now it's suicide to go in against. Will they just try to rip it on spawn? I don't think so. It's another deep ward here. I don't think Weibo wants to go for this fight yet.
No, really good. The 369 actually going to spot out that deep wall. There they go.
Here they go once again. It's on to Hong. Glacier Prison comes out. Halight's still alive with the Locket of the Eye of Solari being popped. Not a ton of damage just yet. Cream flashing forward. Has the Arcane Storm. He's 2 levels ahead of Xiaohu, but a 3-man shockwave comes through. Already though, the cash in for Jackie Love. And look at the Victor damage. It is just ripping apart Weibo Gaming. Xiaohu the next target as Jackie Love flashes forward. And Victor from Arcane will send Top Esports to a dominant game number 3
right
lead.
Now for somebody else. I'd imagine that somebody else is Jackie Love right now, that you're just wanting to keep alive as much as possible too. I really like the way that Kanavi and Crisp have been playing this one out, and the fact that 369 does fall in that fight really doesn't matter too much to them. Crisp actually going to get jumped here, is very much alone, should fall, and that is at least a kill going down, but with 2 minutes until the next Drake spawns, there's not really anything that's going to turn into particularly. Maybe you can get mid lane tower here. Cream has so much clearance though, yeah.
Look how strong he is. I mean, the Rod of Ages is helping, but he's also just way ahead of everybody else on Weibo. Kanavi gets knocked up here. They don't want to let this tier 1 tower go down. And the Arcane Storm has expired, so no chance of that giant ultimate still going. White Valks forward as it looks like Weibo still want to push here. Breathe, flashing in onto Kanavi. They want this kill, and they will get it. The Shockwave lands on a Cream as well, but they won't be able to find anything else. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, 369 going to at least crack open this bottom lane inhibitor while Weibo are still on this tier 1.
They don't even get the tier 1. They finally get themselves the shutdown onto Kanavi. It is something, I guess, but these super minions pouring in now with the last little dregs of this Baron empowered minion push. They're going to be pushing onto this inhibitor tower in the mid lane, taking so much damage with all the little mites as well.
Baron buff. I forgot they still had the Baron buff, honestly. And so
they are crushing with this one. They've been able to get themselves a pretty decent advantage off the back of it. Not quite as much as you would have potentially expected with how far ahead TES were, but with this tower falling around the inhibitors.
I like the
idea. I like the idea. You are now missing that for this Drake fight, so that could potentially come back to bite TES. Although with how far ahead they are, I don't necessarily know that that's going to be the case.
Cream just buys so much space, though, in terms of preventing Weibo from walking in. Him and Chris can just play poke duty at this point, and Weibo's going to be so unhealthy by the time they even get close to this Hextech Dragon, which is already gone, by the way. Top Esports getting the soul, and now can look for the engage. Ultimate onto Xiaohu. He should be dead pretty quickly with the Whirling Death on top of the Shockwave. Does a lot of damage. They finally do find the kill on the Jackie Love, but it does not matter as Cream will once again reign supreme in this team fight. It is going to be the Arcane Storm raining down on the Breeze, as it is a 4-for-1 picked up here for Top Esports. Only TN is alive, as he is going to have to watch his former team take his Nexus down with him just merely having nothing else to do.
It's just going to be Tian right here. What can he do? It would take an absolute miracle for him to be able to pick up even a kill right now. Tries to retreat back to the base, has to flash back under his own fountain, and this game is going to be done right here. Whilst that team fight was happening, whilst Cream had the biggest Arcane Storm I'd ever seen running, the minions were already taking that first Nexus tower. He will finally fall, does Tian. That is going to be the victory right here